It's Gorman in the morning with Fletcher and Ryder. Now, 92 KQRS.
Gorman in the morning on Minnesota's 92 KQRS. Good Monday morning. It is July the 7th. I'm very glad to be here. Let's just get it out of the way. Happy birthday to the King of Kings. Ringo Starr is 85, and I'm in a pretty darn good mood about it. And for the next few hours, I'm going to be hanging out here. In the back of my mind, I'll be thinking about Ringo. But for right now, I'm thinking about Paul Fletcher.
Oh, well, thank you for that. 4 a.m. came quickly this morning, huh?
That's how it works. Ryder, how are we, darling?
Just being lazy, and that's what I want to do. I just want to hang around.
Yeah.
Lazy. Listen to the ball game and
Nailed it.
Drink a couple hundred beers and maybe smoke an occasional cigar outside.
That was my vacation.
Mm-hmm.
It
nice.
was spectacular. How about you two?
Let's see. Nothing happened, which is exactly what was the plan.
Yes.
We did a lot of time around pools, such as that. Sunburned twice while we were not here. But it was good. Good time with the kids, for sure. You know, when they're at the age mine are at, you got to spend good time with them.
I will go ahead and say politely and respectfully, yeah, you got some color.
Yeah. A little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a bit of color right there.
Shoulders
Let's,
have been itchy.
Yeah, I don't doubt that a bit. Let's dive right in, though, because we do need to inform ourselves and our friends listening to the show, Paul Fletcher. I'm feeling Minnesota, so give me some headlines.
Palmer's Bar is set to close after serving beers for 120 years on the West Bank. I had so many good times in my 20s at Palmer's. The bar didn't give a reason for its closure, but said, quote, "We'll have a jam-packed calendar and plenty of time to party and say farewell before shutting the doors," which I believe will be in August. Annie's Parlor in Dinkytown, another staple, also closed its doors after 50 years. They served their last burgers there last week.
Bummed about those shakes. Bummed about the shakes at Annie's.
Burgers and shakes.
It's Gen Z not picking up the drinking mantle like they should. This is what's happening to Palmer's. So there's still time for somebody to swoop in with like millions of dollars who just wants to own one of the coolest dive bars ever.
Yeah, I agree. Let's make it happen.
I was pointed in that direction many, many, many years ago. Got to go to a place called Palmer's, and I will be like so many people right now going, "Oh wow, I haven't spent nearly enough time there, have I? Oops!" But there, as you said, there's still a little bit of time, and I will make a stop or two.
Something kind of big happened while we were gone, so I wanted to circle back to it quickly. The Minnesota Wild announced as of September 3rd, Xcel Energy Center will be now known as Grand Casino Arena. The new naming rights partnership is a 14-year deal.
Wow.
Any immediate nicknames come to mind for you guys?
The Grand Casino
Arena, yeah.
Crap Shack. Craps Shack. I gotta specify.
Yes.
I like House of Craps. That's all. Like the Blackjack Barn. I don't know.
like that.
The internet beat me too, coming up with the best one, which I think is the G Spot.
Wow.
Ooh, yeah, that'll work.
I like it. And then I posted that online. Somebody commented, "Then men are never going to be able to find this place."
That's a fact.
The jokes, they write themselves.
I know, yeah.
One real one that some hockey friends posted on social that I liked is the Gino. That's the G for grand and the end of casino, the Gino, and also Gino in hockey slang is a goal.
Sure.
So the Gino works nice.
That all makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm still a big fan of the G Spot myself. I'd vote for that.
Or the Craps Shack. I like
also
that.
Also a big fan of the G Spot.
It is a gamble when you go to a Wild game.
I thought you were going to say it was a gamble when you're looking for the G Spot. Okay.
Well, that too. All of the above. Oasis kicked off their much-hyped Oasis Live 25 reunion tour over the weekend with 2 shows in Cardiff. The reunited Gallagher brothers delivered a 23-song set spanning their entire career, opening with Hello and closing with their biggest songs, Wonderwall and Champagne Supernova. They performed only one song post-90s, so they were definitely there to give the masses what they wanted. It was the first time the band had performed since the bitter split in 2009, and they seemed in good spirits, even playful, mocking their own ticket prices. The world tour heads to North America in late August with shows in Toronto, Chicago, New York, and LA in case you wanted to make a trip.
Yeah, good spirits. That's what 100 million pounds in the bank will do for you.
And you know what? That 100 pounds isn't enough. The 30th anniversary reissue of What's the Story Morning Glory gets released October 3rd on color vinyl with lots of bonus versions of songs.
Very nice.
Sure.
Why not, right? Pile on. Chuck E. Cheese. Oh, Chuck E. Cheese. They're launching a spin-off arcade chain for adults called Chuck's Arcade. Oh
my God.
I know, right? Featuring a mix of nostalgic and newer arcade games overseen by iconic animatronic characters. Hopefully they're bringing back the the real Chuck E. Cheese, the mechanical one, rather than adults walking around in suits, because that was just flat out creepy.
If you want to help out those adults, don't offer that pizza. Oh my God, that is! I just have painful memories from all those young. We never hosted a birthday party there for our kids, but they were invited to plenty. I've done my time in the Chuck E. Cheese trenches, and I do not miss it one bit.
I don't disagree. 10 Chuck's Arcade locations are already open in malls across America, each with a unique design, full menu, original artwork, and prizes for adults to win. Chuck E. Cheese invested $350 million in remodels and introduced new pricing tiers to attract budget-focused families.
Yeah.
At least 80 people are dead, including 28 children from historic flash flooding in central Texas over the weekend. At least 10 girls and one counselor are still missing from Camp Mystic, an all-girls summer camp. Camp Mystic is located in an area along the Guadalupe River known as Flash Flood Alley due to the soil's inability to absorb water quickly. The century-old camp was hosting roughly 750 children when a storm began dropping several inches of rain per hour late Thursday night. River waters rose 26 feet in 45 minutes, which is insane. Shortly before daybreak Friday, the equivalent of months' worth of rain, over 850 people were rescued within the first 36 hours of the search, including residents of other camps and people living in nearby localities.
Absolutely horrific.
Yeah, no other way to word it. Not horrific was the insane fun being had in Birmingham, England. Ozzy performed his final show for the Back to the Beginning Black Sabbath farewell concert. Ozzy, who is, of course, battling Parkinson's, performed while seated on a black throne, and his vocals actually sounded quite strong. He started off with some solo stuff like Crazy Train, Mr. Crowley, and Mom, I'm Coming Home. Then the rest of Black Sabbath joined him for Black Sabbath songs. A really cool moment was when Ozzy thanked the crowd. He just seemed genuinely touched, said, "You have no idea how I feel. Thank you from the bottom of my heart." Metallica, Guns N' Roses also were on the bill. Metallica covered 2 Sabbath songs. The GNR rocked 4. Joey Chestnut reclaimed the mustard belt for a 17th time at Nathan's annual hot dog eating contest on the 4th of July. He missed last year's competition due to a conflict of interest over a sponsorship deal with a vegan hot dog brand. How dare he? He's the hot dog champion of the world. Joey scarfed down a total of 70 and a half hot dogs in 10 minutes. He didn't beat his own personal record, though, which he set in 2021 was 76. He almost sounded disappointed, but I think it's one of those things where greatness takes some time to come back.
You can't. You spend a season on the bench. Yeah, you're definitely gonna have to ease your way back into apex level competitive eating.
He did add. He said, "I know it's going to keep getting harder and harder to break records, but I'll figure it out." Getting older. He's getting older. He's not as young as he used to be. He can't just hammer hot dogs and then screw around. He's got to train.
Gotta like a man who's still breaking records, and no one even close. Second place was somewhere in the 40s, right?
Yeah, 46, I believe.
Dude, just do 47.
Yeah.
Take it easy.
Yeah, unbelievable.
It is unbelievable. The Minnesota Twins, hey, they won a series over the weekend. How about that?
2 walk-offs.
And we didn't have to wait till yesterday to find out if they were going to win the series. Yeah, 2 walk-offs. So Friday night, Bader had a home run to beat the Rays in the 9th. Saturday, Brooks Lee, safety squeeze, scored Buxton. Great excitement. Yesterday, sadly, it was the Tampa Bay Rays who had the 10th inning 3-run burst after an error. But hey, all good things come to an end. The Twins are right now in second place behind Detroit, which is great. But their record is 43-47. That's not exactly great. However, one good thing for the day, Byron Buxton was named to the All-Star team. So good for you, Byron. Well done. He'll be down in Atlanta. He is a Georgian by birth, so it's nice to go home and play an All-Star game.
Yeah, absolutely. I had a good time. We were there Friday for the walk-off.
Oh, excellent.
Nice.
Bader's, oh, man, that was phenomenal. That guy's like Hulk Hogan and Randy Macho Man Savage.
He's turning into it. Courtney Williams had 25 points. Collier back had 21. The Lynx beat the Chicago Sky last night by 5, 80-75. And another All-Star appearance for Courtney Williams. Her first as a member of the Lynx. She'll be a WNBA All-Star. Minnesota has now set a record with 11 straight home wins to start the season. They are 17-2 and a really good basketball team. Speaking of women in the Twin Cities, the Aurora scored a goal to put themselves into the semifinals. In the semifinals against Pittsburgh, they beat Kingshammer FC Cincinnati. How about that? A pretty nice moment here. A 0-0 game, very, very late, and Sage Wimes decided enough was enough.
Tied up at zeros. Look at this. Wimes now. Wimes finds the back of the net in the 88th minute. Aurora FC 1-0.
How many minutes are in a soccer game? Is it 90?
90, baby.
Yep.
Waited till the 88th.
Yep.
Make it dramatic.
Around the world, the guy usually screams goal. Here, it's the name. Wives! I was like, dude, points for the excitement there. One quick other baseball note, by the way, Pittsburgh Pirates center fielder O'Neal Cruz threw a runner out at home plate from center field yesterday. The ball went 105.2 miles per hour from his hand.
Damn.
That's the second fastest ball thrown since they started keeping track of these things in 2015. 105 miles per hour to throw a runner out at home plate.
Get that guy a mound.
Yeah, that's a bit
How's
of
he
a
not
gun
a pitcher?
right there.
Holy smokes.
Hey, Plymouth, Minnesota, glad to have you with us this morning. A little shout out to our friends in Plymouth. Not Plymouth, Ryder.
No.
No.
I would never ply my mouth.
Gorman in the morning. Coming right back. 92 KQRS. Streaming from 92KQRS.com. Gorman in the morning is back. 92 KQRS.
Gorman in the morning, Minnesota's 92 KQRS. Good Monday morning. We're putting together our Monday morning mixtape, Ultimate Wake Up Call Songs. What song gets your lazy ass out of bed the best? Or, it doesn't even have to be a rocker. Maybe you're the kind of person who likes to wake up to a nice, soft, song by Bread. Or maybe Cat Stevens' Morning Has Broken. You know what I mean? Maybe you're one of those weirdos. Not me. No. If I need a jolt, I'm going something a little bit loud, a little bit raucous. 651-989-ROCK. Let us know your Monday morning mixtape wake up call song. Tom just texted in Mr. Sunshine, ELO. Okay, Tom. That's a happy go lucky way to get the day started.
Yeah.
That's the pick of somebody who's probably retired.
Probably retired.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And get to ease out just whenever they feel like it.
That's the pick of a guy that people go, Tom? Oh, he's a great dude. Oh, he's awesome, man. He's every time he shows up, it's like a little bit better. You know what I mean? He's Mr. Sunshine himself.
Mark's got a good one. Let's Go Crazy by Prince. Bob Weeks hit us with No Sleep Till Brooklyn.
Yes, nice one.
Those are a couple of really good ones.
That'll work.
The Beastie Boys is one to keep you up all through the night, though.
Yeah.
That's
one where you don't go to bed. I'm mostly like something raucous because I'm not the best waker upper. But every now and then to be eased out of bed, Comfortably Numb by Pink Floyd would be nice to just kind of have that thing kick in, just subtly.
I'm kind of with you. My pick is Rooster, Alice in Chains.
Yeah,
a
take
very
that.
slow build.
I saw your face,
Wow.
Gorman. Come on.
I see it. Yeah.
So you're slowly getting up, and it kind of crescendos in the middle.
Yeah. That's a good call.
I usually, with what goes on with my untethered subconscious in my sleep, I can't stay in bed and gradually greet the day. It's like I usually wake up in a state more like, yeah, okay. And then I have to jump out of bed and I have to throw water in my face and get whatever was happening in my brain out of my mind. And so I usually want to hear something very loud. It's like
abrasive.
It's like an electric shock. I need a little electric shock therapy.
This was real extra punk rock for you. I was very impressed when you sent me this one.
Oh, listen. Nothing wrong with the little early era Replacements Let It Be album.
Yeah.
And this was a staple in the college days. This was the morning record. Waking up like, oh my God, I've got it. I mean, I did not just say, this is not the 60-year-old me saying this or soon to be. This is experience. This is 40 years of if I need a jolt, I'm going right till we're coming out by the Replacements.
That's not a bad.
Nice.
Yeah, I generally agree with you. I need to be like kicked out of bed basically by the music. And in fact, there was a time where I would set my alarm with my phone and I would cue it. You could, set it to on your phone. You can set it to whatever song you want, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I would set it away from me though, so I had to actually get out of bed and turn it off.
It's whatever it takes, man. 651-989-ROCK. Let us know your perfect wake-up song. 651-989-ROCK. Kickstart My Heart, a text that just came in. That's a solid one. I mean, that song's got a little get up and go.
Mm-hmm.
We got a good one. We got a good one from Christine. For those about to rock, which is a really good one and an obvious one. But the cool part is she said she sets her alarm for 5:55 so she can start her day with us.
Nice.
Thunderstruck will do it. Every time. Christine, if you really cared, you wouldn't need an alarm. You'd just wake up at 5:55.
Wow.
But I appreciate the effort anyway.
God, so picky.
John Fogerty's version of the Midnight Special says red. All right, I got a little bit of research to do. I'll bite. I'll check it. I'll take a look at that one. We all travel. Some of us go all the time. Some people take a flight once every few years. But regardless of how often you find yourself on a plane, I think you're kidding if you don't say at least once in the back of your mind, you just go, I just want a smooth flight. I hope everything goes okay. I'm a very comfortable flyer, and I have all sorts of crazy thoughts when I fly because it's just a part of the process. And a few people in Raleigh, North Carolina woke up a couple days ago. A family got up in the morning, and they had no plans to go anywhere. They weren't traveling, but they had one of those moments where they went, they looked out in the driveway and saw what looked to be and turned out to be a piece of a wing flap from a Delta airliner.
Oh, sounds like a really good reason not to go to work that day. Hey, I can't come in. I have a wing flap in my driveway.
Yeah, wing flap in the driveway. What happened, a late night flight from Atlanta to Raleigh, North Carolina. Thunderstorms had delayed all kinds of flights. This is a few days ago. So the flight was coming into Raleigh around 1 in the morning, a few hours after its scheduled landing. And the plane landed without incident. Everybody got off the plane happy to finally be where they were going. Nobody on the plane had any idea there was a problem. Of course, the plane is at the gate, and the ground crew does what they do, and they start to examine the plane, make sure it all looks normal, and they go, hey, we're missing a wing flap. And I imagine the pilot was like, well, that would explain why that landing felt a little weird up here. But luckily, they noticed it right away. We're missing a wing flap. And then there was, I can only imagine, a few hours of sheer panic. Where in the hell did that wing flap go between Atlanta and Raleigh? And it did, as I said, come apart. It fell off in Raleigh but shortly before landing, and it landed in a very, very densely populated neighborhood. But again, just in a driveway, didn't hit a house, didn't hit a car. It was just laying there, and it's a pretty big chunk of plane. I mean, it's 6 or 8 feet long from the photo, and. The Delta was, of course, trying to figure out where that thing went. They heard, there's a wing flap that we found in a neighborhood. Thankfully, it's the same one they were already looking for. I mean, it would have been really, really. There was a quote from a Delta employee saying we were happy that it was the one and the same. And I just thought, what if it had been a different one? What if it was a wing flap that they weren't looking for?
Well, that's mind-boggling.
That is mind-boggling.
Think of all the places this thing could have landed, too. I mean, just to safely land in somebody's driveway and cause a minor inconvenience is incredible compared to where it could have landed. I mean, could have hit somebody in a McDonald's drive-thru or something. I mean, who knows?
Just about anywhere else would have been worse than just landing innocently in a driveway.
Yeah.
I'd love to hear from a pilot. Do we not need these wing flaps? Can we just all start taking them off the plane? Because they didn't even notice.
They're like one of your kidneys. You don't need both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. That's true. And I know that's true, but I like having both. And I like having all the wing flaps that are offered to me upon takeoff.
Call me old-fashioned, but I'm into getting on board planes that have all of the pieces.
It still bugs me when I watch, when you see footage of rockets going to space and the boosters come apart. And I'm like, see, I just like everything you leave with to stay attached, even if it's by design. I don't like watching parts of rockets burst away to let the kid. No, give me. That's what I like about, the good old space shuttle. It looks the same when it lands as when it takes off.
You probably shouldn't be an astronaut.
It was never an option. Although I did have an astronaut's lunchbox as a kid, and I used to think about it. That'd be pretty cool.
There you go.
I've owned a NASA shirt, so that's close too.
My first, maybe not my first, absolutely one of my first memories that's very clear is the first ever moonwalk, the summer of '69. I was 4. And I remember very clearly my family watching that on TV and freaking out. And my dad and my Uncle Larry went to a bar to watch it on a TV at a bar because they were so patriotic. They needed to drink to watch the moon landing.
Yeah.
That's a couple of veterans right there who knew what they needed to do, and they needed to get the hell away from all these kids.
Heck yeah. I was just a little late for that one. I would have loved to have been alive drive to watch that.
Of all the things that can fall out of a plane, a wing flap's actually far from the worst, because I have had for years a fear of the frozen ball of blue poop coming down on top of my head. If you remember, there was a time when airplanes, there seemed to be a spate, if you will, of toilet overflow dropping balls of. It's just like this big blue ball of ice. But it's ice from the toilets, and occasionally things like this have fallen out of planes. That doesn't seem to be happening too much these days. From 1979 to 2003, there were at least 27 instances confirmed of blue ice big enough to tear through roofs and smash cars. One was so big it basically knocked down a really old historic church in England.
Are you
kidding? No, I'm not.
I've never heard of this even one time. I didn't know this was a thing. Yeah, no, I had no clue.
Yeah, in airlines, it's called going Dave Matthews. But yeah, it's true. This used to happen. The old systems, back in the days, you used to flush liquid into a tank like in a camper van before they had like the vacuum toilet systems you see now. And those things could get overloaded. There would be accidental releases. And yeah, if you look up into the sky and see a giant blue ball of ice coming your way, the ice isn't the problem. It's what is in that ice that's the problem. Trust me when I say
Run
that.
like hell.
Yeah, absolutely. What's the weirdest thing that you've ever experienced in a situation like this? On a plane, looking at a plane. I hope it's not blue ice, but man, if it was, I'd love to hear from you. 651-989-ROCK. Let us know. We were just discussing the fact that a wing flap fell off of a Delta Airlines jet. It landed in the driveway of a residential neighborhood in Raleigh, North Carolina. The plane landed safely. Apparently, the flight crew didn't even realize they'd lost a section of a flap. Nobody was injured. It's a good result. And then, of course, that led me to talking about, poop falling from the sky. Blue, frozen balls of excrement that have fallen out of airplanes. And I was reminded a couple years ago, apparently, that happened in Burnsville.
Yeah.
In 2023... a bunch of folks were in a Caribou Coffee, a few people waiting in the drive-thru, and their windshield was splattered. They called it, at the time, brown rain.
What?
Very, very, very strong odor. Like you might find on a farm, if you will.
I like that they didn't disguise this as some kind of blue ice or whatever. Like, you knew immediately and didn't have to question and didn't need to do any extra sniffing or taste testing.
Nope.
None of that had to happen. You knew right away that it was poo.
Hey, fertilizer is as fertilizer does. And it fell out. One of the people that was there said they got involved and said, I'm pretty sure it was a United flight to Denver that had just taken off. And United Airlines at no point ever, except they said, nope, we never heard any reports of anything. But this is a true story. A whole lot of witnesses all reporting the exact same thing, which is something fell out of the sky, and that something was poo. But the all-timer, I think, happened in India. In 2016, a woman was hit standing just outside a severe shoulder injury when a football-sized chunk of ice went through the roof of her house and still hit her with enough force to really damage her shoulder. And that was, yes, a blue ball of frozen airline poop. Ouch.
Yeah.
Does your insurance cover that?
I don't.
Man. You know what? I would certainly hope so. You'd probably have to say it was something else.
You can't claim poop?
I don't think so.
I
don't think you want to make that claim at all.
I think if it falls out of a plane and it goes through your roof and lands on your shoulder, you can claim poop.
Here's something else that they are planning to have fall out of airplanes soon. This is wild. The U.S. government is about to drop billions of flies out of airplanes over Mexico and southern Texas. This is not a Stephen King novel come to life. This is the government's plan to protect the U.S. from a bug that can devastate the beef industry. So this is how it works. There is a New World screwworm fly. That is a pest that has been largely eliminated in Central America, but suddenly it popped up again. And they can really, really, really do a work on the cattle industry. And so what the U.S. is doing is they're breeding adult male flies. They will sterilize the flies with radiation and then release them into an area where people are reporting the New World screwworm fly exists. They mate with females. The eggs laid aren't fertilized. They don't hatch. The breed dies out.
Wow.
Okay, I'm sorry. Time out. We're sending radioactive flies into Texas?
Yeah. Texas and Mexico.
All right. Enough fun and games.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you're not a fan of Marvel. I mean, I've already seen this movie.
It would seem like of all the, isn't there just something you could spray on these damn things? I mean, come on, we got pesticides of all sorts, but no, I think this is probably better. This is just those guys in the white lab coats. You got to take them at their word.
You can't make robot flies.
We're gonna breed billions of them. We're gonna sterilize them with radiation, and then they're gonna go have a party. They're gonna go mate.
That sounds backwards. Sterilize them with radiation. What? That doesn't compute to me.
What do you mean? Would you expect radiation to give them even more virility?
Yeah.
Something, yeah. I don't know. It's whether it's a spray or flies, radiation's got to be bad. I don't know.
Well, that's exactly it. It
That's how it's
sterilizes
making them
them.
sterile.
Hey, man, you never, when you take that X-ray, they always wrap that.
They put the apron, the metal apron.
That apron right across Big Jim and the twins. Got to keep everybody safe.
I get that. Just radioactive flies falling from the sky sounds a little dubious. That's all I'm saying.
A little.
A lot dubious. Fine. So you're saying spray. Let's just do spray. It's going to have bad ingredients in it, but so is radioactive flies, I would think. I don't know.
Listen, it's a long-term plan.
Trust science.
Every time. I mean, hey, man, I look at my phone every day and I bemoan science. Get this thing away from me. Thanks for nothing, science.
Gorman in the morning. Coming right back. 92 KQRS. Streaming from 92KQRS.com. Gorman in the morning is back. 92 KQRS.
Gorman in the morning. Let's talk about household activities.
Okay.
Chores around the house, cooking, cleaning, etc. Ryder, how's Mr. Ryder around the house? Busy guy?
He's always busy at work, so when he is at home doing the household chore, I take care of the bulk of that stuff, and that's totally fine. He just picks the most weird, random chore to do. Like yesterday, he was all stoked. He cleaned out the drain in the basement sink. I was like, man, the rug in the front living room hasn't been vacuumed in a month. The lawn needs to be mowed. But no, this is the one that you pick. So, yeah, so he helps, but he likes to get real creative with it.
But at least when there's an itch, he scratches it.
Absolutely.
You just wish it was a different itch. Paul, I'm going to go out on a limb and suggest you're pretty good around the house.
I am actually fairly decent. Spencer, my wife, takes care of the kitchen and the laundry largely. I do almost everything else. We have mostly hardwood floors, so there's not vacuuming. But I'm the bathroom guy. I'm the incidentals guy.
Got it.
I'm also all of the outside stuff. So,
I do like splitting up the kitchen and the bathroom. Those are the two toughest ones. So, yeah. I like that.
The bathroom is, I don't know how I drew that stick, because that's gross compared to the kitchen.
You made the mistake of doing a good job in there one time.
Something like that, yeah. You know what? It's not the best, but it'll work.
Steve, how are you with the choring?
Great. I grew up in a house where everybody had a list. I mean, everybody was involved. Way too many people in the house, not for everyone to be on board. It took a lot of work to keep a house with 10 people in it not from falling apart at all times. So, but as far as my mom, when I was probably 12, showed me, okay, this is how you do laundry. This is how you brown meat. This is how you do this. I mean, she was just like, look, you're going to have to do all this stuff. When I got to college, I was the only kid I knew that could do their own laundry. I had 18-year-old friends of mine who would go, how do you know how to do your laundry? And I'd look at them like, what is wrong with you? And it was I'm looking back now, I probably could have charged money. I could have had a side gig going doing laundry for a bunch of knuckleheads. But no, I'm always very happy to jump in. But my wife has a real issue with how I do certain things. Like what I think is clean. She says, no, that's not cleaning, that's straightening. Yeah. And I'm like, okay.
There is a big difference between cleaning up clutter and cleaning.
There definitely is.
Yeah.
But no, we jump in. But the reason I'm asking all this, the Bureau of Labor Statistics has done a lot of polling and asking people about the inequalities because historically men are way behind women in the amount of household activities such as laundry and cleaning on a daily basis. In the last 20 years, the gap has gotten very, very, very short. More than 20 minutes a day, more than 20 years ago, the average man is doing around the house. In 2024, women are still doing 40 minutes more per day, but this is as close as it's ever been. Men spend an average of 100 minutes a day doing household activities such as laundry and cleaning.
100 minutes a day?
I guess that's the days they're actually doing
that
things.
Seems
this
high
isn't
for
every day.
anybody. Okay.
It seems high for everybody.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. The biggest jump has been in the last few years, largely concentrated in cooking and cleaning, and really, really fueled by the COVID-19 pandemic. All it took was a world-defeating, economic-destroying, soul-crushing pandemic to get us to go, maybe I should help out around here.
Yeah.
That's all it took.
Or maybe to have the significant other say, hey, you got nothing to do, get to work. Chip in, and then it never. Then once it starts, a precedent is set.
Maybe it was just that time for demonstrations. Like, here is how this works. There you go. Now you can do it. Yeah.
Here's how you wipe down a counter.
Here's something I truly enjoy. I'll never not enjoy just folding laundry. I'm good at it. I enjoy it. It's like to me, it's almost like when I love to play Tetris. I just like making things neat and orderly.
Yes.
I can pack a trunk with the best of them in the planet. I like things to be where they belong, and I really love dumping out the basket of freshly laundered clothes and then turning them into little shapes that make perfect sense in your drawer.
Do you stop and smell them?
No, don't do that. No, not so much. I'm sure I have in the past at times.
Okay.
No, it's just a matter of I love seeing a pile of freshly folded clothes because I'm strange. I have issues.
I love seeing that too. I just don't like. I like to see it when it's done. Oh, really nice job right there. I do like. I do the cooking too. That's my other thing. That's my main contribution to the household. Is I do all the cooking pretty much.
I'm a good sushi. I can chop, I can cut, I can prepare,
Nice,
I can eyeball measurements really well. But as far as like, if you asked me to prepare very basic things, like say just chicken, just bake a chicken, I'd be like, no. Let me cut something. Just tell me how much of this you need. How many cups of this should I grind and mulch into for you? That's about as much as I got. Hey, check this out. July 25th. The Rock the Boat 80s cruise will be rocking from Stillwater Boats. Woo! We are going to be there. And you know what? As long as we're going, why don't a couple of our listeners join us? Why don't we play a little game here? How about that? Let's give away some tickets for the Rock the Boat 80s cruise. We'll explain exactly how you can win yours in about 5 minutes and 2 songs.
92 KQRS.
Ringo Starr, birthday boy. Mm-hmm. Mr. Peace and Love. He's 85 today. The King of Kings.
For sure. What makes him Mr. Peace and Love?
Yeah.
That's his vibe, man. He just jumped all over it. At noon, wherever you live in the world, every day, every year on July 7th, he asks everybody to say peace and love at noon, at high noon.
Okay.
Throw a peace sign out there and say it out loud.
Game.
Come on, man.
I'll do it.
Doesn't hurt a thing.
Nope.
Find a photo of Ringo with a fan or with another musician where they're posing and looking at the camera in the last 30 years where he's not flashing a peace sign. That's your challenge today.
What's my reward if I find one?
Oh,
$5.
The reward is spending a few minutes with Ringo on your mind.
The reward is probably you spent hours looking through photos of Ringo with the peace sign before that put you in a good mood.
It's inherently wonderful any minute you have where you think about the great Richard Starkey. Sir Ringo to you, Paul Fletcher. In Boston, Massachusetts, a woman is in a bit of hot water. She not only did she lead police on a chase through downtown Boston Tuesday. Anybody who's ever been to Boston, you realize this was not necessarily a high-speed chase. There's not a lot of lanes. There's not a lot of room. No. There's a lot of traffic. But she led police through downtown Boston. And not only that, 2 different officers approached the car and tried to open the driver's door to pull her out. She dragged one about 20 feet, damn near ran another one over, and along the way hit many, many, many parked vehicles, multiple vehicles. The 911 call that came in said, hey, just saw a woman hit a bunch of cars and a cop. So you can only imagine the Boston PD was a little concerned and a little excited to get her in their clutches. The best part of this story, everyone's okay or is going to be okay. There was some eyewitness accounts at the scene, and these are not outtakes from Family Guy.
When I came outside, there was no other second car that had been in an accident. And I was like, okay, this is a little bizarre. And the cops said, no, she started smashing cars downtown like an hour ago. It's not an ordinary to see somebody sort of maybe driving too fast, but this is, of course, off the charts.
I'm just picturing this going through the cobblestones.
Okay, this is a little bizarre.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little bizarre.
They've got a no chase policy too, so I wonder how they handled this exactly.
I think, well, luckily I think they were probably just chasing on foot from my experience with the theater district of Boston. I think what's really going on here is she just hates her car.
That's entirely possible.
She just wanted
It looked like a relatively new Honda too. It was like she left debris all over the city. Like,
this car wicked sucks. By the way, they did bring her in. They went and searched her property. A lot of drugs, fentanyl, crack, methadone. Here's the counts: 3 counts of leaving the scene of property damage, 2 counts of assault and battery with a dangerous weapon, 2 counts of assault and battery on a police officer, 2 counts of resisting arrest, 2 counts of failure to stop, destruction of property in excess of $1,200, assault with a dangerous weapon, 2 counts leaving the scene of personal injury, operating under the influence of drugs, 4th offense, operating with a suspended license, reckless operation of a motor vehicle, negligent operation of a motor vehicle, possession of Class B drugs with intent to distribute, possession of Class A drugs with intent to distribute. Wow. I mean, they caught her right in the middle of a workday.
You're like out of breath right there. Yeah.
I mean, that's a lot.
Will she'll be in jail for a while. Maybe she'll get clean and maybe she'll turn her life around. Maybe this is rock bottom. Positive spin.
If this isn't rock bottom, boy, you never
know.
Off to you.
You just never know.
You just never know. What do you think she would? I think she hates her car. I think this was all an attempt to get rid of it. So what would be a nickname? Paul, you're a car guy. Do you give your cars nicknames?
You know what? I do not. I think the whole premise, the whole thing is silly.
Really?
You love so many silly things.
The automakers give the car a name. It's generally on a badge in the back of the car. That's the name of the car. I think naming it, giving it like, I'm going to go get an Eleanor and go for a ride is the silliest thing ever.
92 KQRS.
Gorman in the morning, Minnesota's 92 KQRS. I was in a band for almost 30 years, the Black Crowes. When we first started, we were called Mr. Crow's Garden. And the first gig I ever played with that band was opening for the guy you just heard, Gordon Gano of the Violent Femmes.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Jacksonville Beach, Florida. Summer of 87. Went down there, road trip down to Florida and opened for him. And I was like, man, it's kind of cool going to another town and playing music where no one knows me.
It never ceases to amaze me. The Gorman web, it touches damn near everything, it seems like.
It's what I'm trying, man. Try to keep it sticky out there, man. You just never know when you're going to need a reference, like a Gordon Gano reference. There it is.
Absolutely.
Did you, Mr. Crow's Garden, did you have a tour van at that point?
We had in fact, we borrowed my bandmates, the Robinson brothers. Their dad loaned us his van when available.
Damn.
But for that first trip, it was 2 cars. It was a Honda Civic and a Gremlin, an AMC Gremlin.
Oh my God, you were living in Wayne's World.
4 band members and then and one at the time manager. 3 guys in the Gremlin, 2 guys in the Honda with a lot of gear in both cars. It's amazing how much you can cram into a Gremlin and a Honda Accord.
Right?
Yeah.
Apparently,
alone, I think, would take up both of those things.
Yeah, good stuff.
I mean, not only are they not vans, but they're compact cars.
Oh yeah.
Did you have names for them?
We didn't have names. Well, the Gremlin was like a shade of purple. And David, it was his car. He had, I got to remember, it wasn't the Purple People Eater, but it was something, a kind of a play on that. Okay. He did have a name for it. I haven't named a car in years, but I've had 2 vehicles that did have names. I had a 1974 Dodge Dart that was like a baby blue, like a powder blue.
My dad had the exact same.
Yeah, and it was just baby blue. Like there's a Dylan song, a Badfinger song.
Mm-hmm.
It was just baby blue was the name of that vehicle. I had a Vespa scooter before that. Me on a Vespa.
It was named Pierre.
I love that thing. It was a P200. It would go 65 miles per hour. I mean, it was an awesome little scooter. I drove by a window once that had a reflection, and I saw myself on it, and then I realized I'm too big for this. I look like I had stolen a kid's toy. I went right from being cool, kind of a mod, to oh my God, I'm the biggest dork on earth. But that scooter's headlight never worked. I bought it knowing it, and then I took it to the place to fix it, and the guy said, I've already tried to fix this headlight. There's no fixing it. So I had a scooter without a headlight, and so that scooter became known as Snake Plissken because, of course, the eye patch I was like, the eye doesn't work, the light didn't work. I don't know. It made sense to me to call my scooter Snake Plissken.
I like that.
Have it.
Well, so I ruined the whole naming cars thing. I ruined that right out of the gate by saying I don't play that game. But you have a couple. Ryder, do you have names for your cars?
Oh, I don't know that I've had a car worth naming, because the best car that I had was the 90. I had a 94 and a 95 Taurus S8 Show, and that would of course just been the show.
Yeah.
And then I drove a Ford Focus and currently drive a Mazda. So none of those things are really worth slapping names on.
Why can't they have names? They're cars too.
I mean, I don't talk to the car if it doesn't start. I would definitely talk to the show if I felt like the show wasn't going to start. Come on, baby, come on, don't let me down. But I didn't talk to the Focus or to the Mazda.
That's fair.
So they don't get names.
They don't. Cars don't need names. They're given names by the manufacturer.
I don't know.
Sometimes those are boring.
JK just texted in, Olds 225, deuce and a quarter. See, I like that.
Oh,
yeah, baby.
Nice.
How about this one just came in on the text line? 98 Sebring convertible, also known as the Red Rocket. See, that's what I'm talking about.
There we go.
98 Sebring convertible channeling Michael Scott from The American Office.
Come on, that's fantastic. My truck's name is Hula Dog 3. It's the third truck that has had this on the dashboard, and it is looks like a small little figurine of a dog wearing a hula skirt. That makes perfect sense.
Chris, this is a buddy of mine. I'm embarrassed.
Oh, no. Come on. Chris is good people. He's naming his dog. He's naming his truck, I should say.
That's really special.
Gorman in the morning. Coming right back. 92 KQRS. Streaming from 92KQRS.com. Gorman in the morning is back. 92 KQRS.
Gorman in the morning. Minnesota's 92 KQRS. 651-989-ROCK is the talk and text line. We were discussing the fact that a lot of us name our vehicles. Give our cars names. Mike just texted in, my son had a Ford Explorer and called it Dora.
Of course.
That makes perfect sense. I have a Ford Explorer. It never dawned on me to call it Dora.
You should probably start. Hey, we got one from 612. It said, I had a black BMW 740 IL. I called it the black hole because it sucked every penny out of my pocket.
That'll work.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna call my car Fedora. See?
Wow.
Let's just say my dad was a huge car guy, always named his vehicles after girls. He passed away a few years ago, but my favorite he ever did was he got a Hyundai Sonata. I said, what are you going to call it? He said, Frank. And I go, Dad, that's not what you typically do. He said, no, it's Frank Sinatra.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Oh, my God.
Yes.
That works. That works.
Sneaking in that last dad joke there.
Always good for a dad joke. I'm going to share one more. We were talking about the fact that Chuck E. Cheese has a new adults version of Chuck E. Cheese, Chuck's Club. Is that what it is?
Chuck's Arcade.
Chuck's Arcade. Why can't I remember that? Chuck's Arcade. I'm just thinking
It's a catchy name.
It's called Chucky's 54. No, Chuck's Arcade. And there is one text to share there. Brian, the neon guy, texted, the best part about Chuck E. Cheese is all the single moms.
Wow.
Ouch. Okay.
Are you sure, though?
Fair enough. We're about to play a game called Double or Nothing.
Oh,
we got Pixies tickets on the table. We got a few people on hold ready to play. Let's get right to it. First up, Jake from Princeton. Jake, good morning.
Good morning.
All right, so you know what we're doing. I'm going to ask you 5 questions. You'll answer them, and then we will compare your answers to one of Ryder's friendly barflies that she has asked the same questions of. If you match 2 out of 5, you got tickets. Are you ready?
Sure.
All right, number 1, let's do it. Jake, what's a professional sports team with a patriotic name?
Patriots.
Pretty good. Name a famous inventor.
Edison. Thomas Edison.
Number 3, besides records, what's something that you buy at a record store?
CDs.
Number 4, name a bad holiday for it to rain.
4th of July.
Okay, final question. What's something you commonly see in a parade?
Float.
Float. Right on, Jake.
Yeah.
Well done.
Let's go, Jake.
Let's match some answers up, Ryder. Who we got?
All right, so we were hanging out at Charlie's in Pryor a couple of weeks ago. You guys remember how much fun that was?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I do.
And I was chatting with our new friend Ann, who is going to be on the Rock the Boat 80s cruise with us at the end of the month. And here are Ann's answers.
All right. What's a professional sports team with a patriotic name?
Patriots.
Name a famous inventor.
Albert Einstein.
Besides records, name something you buy at a record store.
A record player.
Name a bad holiday for it to rain.
Halloween.
What's something you commonly see in a parade?
Floats.
Down to the buzzer.
Yes.
Man, Jake, were you sweating as much as we were?
A little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
All
you
right.
brought the drama, man. That was beautiful.
2 out of 5,
Yep,
brother.
photo finish.
Nice job, brother. You
Absolutely.
have a good time at that Pixies gig. We got time to try to give away some more, do we not, Ryder?
But we don't have any more tickets.
Oh, I thought you were saying let's keep going. Oh, man, I was all excited. I thought we were just going to keep the winning streak going. All right, Jake has got himself
hang
Pixies tickets. We do appreciate both Amy and Alana for calling in. Sorry, next time hopefully is your time. I'm excited. Now we got a win, kicking off the week on a good vibe.
Oh, yeah.
Time for the last word for Monday, July the 7th. And here it is. If you've ever been at Disney World and you're looking around, you notice there's a lot of American flags on the grounds. And if you're one of those people who looked at those flags and went, something's off, something's weird about those flags, and you couldn't quite figure it out, you were onto something. Most of the flags at Disney World do not have 50 stars. They have a different number other than 50. And the reason is that means it's not an official American flag, which means Disney World does not have to perform proper flag protocols and lower them every single night.
Wow.
By adding or an extra star or taking one away, they can leave them up overnight. So
manipulation of a loophole.
So if you're one of those folks who's like, I don't know, something about those flags, you were right, and I'm sorry you didn't have a fun time.
That Walt Disney's so freaking crafty with his
figure out what was wrong with those
and,
flags. Yeah, that's totally the work of a frozen skull right there. Make no mistake about it. Tomorrow on this show, we're going to play WTF, Wisconsin, Texas, Florida. We'll be giving away Rock the Boat 80s cruise tickets. That's always... WTF's always a fine experience for all of us. And oh gosh, Paul Fletcher, you're up next. What's going on?
One thing before we are done, though, I want to mention the official Monday morning mixtape is up on our Instagram at 92KQRS. So go check that out. I've started adding names to the songs so that we've got, we know who submitted them and stuff. So go look and see if yours made the official mixtape.
the artists named the songs, man.
No,
but
the people that submitted them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
So coming up, you know what? Quite honestly, I've been so busy, I haven't even looked forward yet. So I know that we'll play music. I know we'll go commercial free just before noon, and there'll probably be some free stuff as well.
All things that I like. Less commercials, free stuff, great music. Right here on Minnesota's 92 KQRS.
Gorman in the morning is also Gorman on the go. Get the 92 KQRS app and stream live or catch the Gorman in the morning podcast anytime. 92 KQRS.